Hello, everybody. It is Amy Rich. We are here to do some paper pumpkining together today. And I am in love with Stampin' Up's March Paper Pumpkin Kit from 2022 because it coordinates with our On the Horizon suite of products in the January to June mini catalog. And I just love all the colors and the shading and everything. And then to make matters even better, we got an extra free stamp set in the kit this month. So I am excited to share my project with you. We're going to be using those extra floral stamps that we got in the kit. So let's check it out. Here are the amazing projects that our kits make this month. There are so many beautiful pieces in this kit, and I just wanted to show you a few of them. So we've got these label punch outs in the different colors, and of course on the back of our paper pumpkin instruction card, it gives your color combination here: Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Old Olive, and Pale Papaya. So all of those colors you will see in the items in this kit. And then of course you have some greenery and some mountains and just some really cool cutouts that we're going to use. And here are the items from the kit that we are going to manipulate to our liking today. And I've got my envelope. This is the Pale Papaya envelope. It's got the most color on it of any of the other envelopes, so that's why I wanted to use it. And then the card that we're going to use is this one here. It's got the little chevron pattern, or whatever that pattern would be called. And I'm also going to use one of the straight white labels. So I'm going to punch that out of my label sheet. And a Pale Papaya label that coordinates with our envelope. And then I've also grabbed one of the pieces of greenery. It's so pretty. Love that. We're also going to use the iridescent rhinestones, the ink pad, and of course the stamp set, as I talked about a little bit ago. We're going to start actually with our white label. This is the extra stamp set that this kit came with for March. And I've got the flower out of here and then the flower outline. It's like a two-step stamp set, and I'll show you how that works in a little bit. And then also the best wishes, like I said. I love all of the sentiments in here, as well as the sentiments from the regular stamp set that coordinates with the kit as well. So I'm going to take the best wishes and ink that up with my Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. Now I'm just going to tell you right now that even if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, and even if you don't have this kit, there are so many great tips here for you to create projects of your own with the same type of layout. So I've got my best wishes stamped. Then I'm going to grab a scrap of basic white cardstock out of my stash and then stamp the flowers. So I'm going to grab the flowers. They're all connected on the stamp. So I will stamp it once and get all three of my flowers. And the design is meant to be shaded, so when you stamp it, it's not going to be a solid image. But just make sure to push in all areas before releasing the stamp from the paper. And then we're going to take the outline, because remember I said it's a two-step stamp set. So now we're going to have a little bit of an outline. Now, if you'd rather get a little bit lighter image here, you can stamp it on a piece of scratch paper first and then onto your paper. We call that stamping off before you stamp the image that you're going to use. But in this case, I decided to use it as is. And then the outline is just a real subtle detailing. So then we're going to line up the outline with the stamp, with the flowers I've already stamped, and lay that ink onto paper. And then you've got that little, just a little bit of a detailing there for our flowers. Then what I decided to do was cut these flowers out, and I'll bring in what I've done already. So keep the two that are connected together, and then the other one I cut out as a single flower. Now we're going to need our trimmer. So the trimmer with the trimmer, we're going to cut apart our card base. The first thing we want to do is have the same size card base as we would if we folded the card in half. So we're just going to cut it in half. So we put it in with the white piece, well, either side, it doesn't really matter, in at 4 1/4 inches, and then cut that off. This plain white then will be our card base. Then I'm going to take this piece and put the short side against the top of my top of my trimmer, and I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of this side. So you can either line up the 1/2 inch to the right of the cutting groove or line it up at 3 3/4 inches, and then cut that 1/2 inch off. Then I'm going to turn it 180 and then put it in at 3 1/4 inches and cut a 1/2 inch off the other side as well. So here we've got then a skinnier piece that we're going to use for our project today. Then you can see that this side here has a little more white showing than up here. So we're going to turn that and cut some of that off. So we're going to put the left side in at 5 inches and cut that, what is going to be the bottom edge, off. And then we're going to turn it at a 180 again, so we get that other edge here. And then we are going to score it at 4 1/4 inches. So just the scoring, not the cutting. Make sure you have the right blade. And then we're going to fold that edge down, and you can see now this is going to, once you fold that piece down, it's going to be able to sit right there side to side on your card base that we cut. Then we're going to take our envelope apart. So just carefully, just pull that off. It's okay if you tear some because you're not going to need those sections, but just be a little careful. And open that up. And we are going to use the pale papaya side. So the first thing we'll do, you've got your regular top flap with the adhesive over here on the left. And then you'll put the other side in and trim that larger flap off right along the score line, or, you know, you can move it to the right a little bit and cut a little extra off. So this we are not going to use. So you can discard that, or actually it would make a great piece for something else on another project. Then we're going to turn it at 180 and put that straight side now in at 4 inches. And cut. All right, so we've cut our adhesive flap off, and then we've got those nice straight sides on the left and right. Then we'll turn it and cut this little messy flap off on the side. So that's to be discarded. Turn it at 180 and then cut it at 5 1/4. 5 1/4. So that now you've got a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. We're done with our trimmer. So now I'm going to bring in the other two pieces I've already prepared, and I'm going to put adhesive just on this skinny flap right here. So go ahead and be generous, or use tear and tape even. And we're going to leave about a 1/2 inch on the right hand side, and we're going to adhere that down to our card base again, so that this flap should sit from top to bottom on our card. So it should be just the right size. If you have a little hanging off the edge, just flip it over and trim it off. And then just rub it, burnish it, make sure it really is stuck on there well. So then we'll take this piece that we cut from the envelope, get my adhesive flowing here, and we're going to adhere that, open up the flap, and we're going to cover up this little ugly piece of white here. So we're going to adhere that over the top of that. And again, burnish that so it's stuck down like this. And then we're making a really simple little fun fold that is just going to end up to be absolutely gorgeous. You'll see. Now we'll take the pale papaya label, and we're just going to put adhesive on there and tape that down We're going to go centered from left to right, but a little bit below center from top to bottom. So it's going to look like this. Then we'll take our Best Wishes label and we're going to put some dimensionals on the back. Not all the way to the edge, because the one edge is going to hang over the side of our flap. So we want to make sure it doesn't stick down to the back of the card, and then it won't open, which we don't want, of course. So go ahead and now adhere that about 1/8 to 1/4 inch from the bottom edge, and it can stick out the side a little bit, just like this. And now you can see what I mean. You don't want it all the way to the edge, otherwise that would stick down to our card, to the back of the card. Next, we're going to take our greenery. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. We are going to cut, there are 3 leaves here, 3 leaves here. That's where we're going to cut. So we're going to just trim that off so that we've got those 7 leaves, including the one on top. This is going to go right up in this area here, and you can see how those left leaves kind of hang off the edge again. So be careful to put adhesive where it's not going to stick off the edge. So we'll just add some to those leaves on the right, and then maybe a little bit down the middle, and then we'll adhere that right up here like that. Then we'll take the 2 leaves, or the 2 flowers that we cut out together, and those are going to get adhered approximately right here. So what we're going to want are dimensionals maybe in here, 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 and maybe a little bit over here. So you just have to be careful where you put those dimensionals, because you don't want it to pop up too high off the Best Wishes, which is already popped up. So we'll just be a little bit careful, a little stingy at first with our, I'm just going to lay that on there again. Make sure I remember where they're going to go. I don't want them, you know, in weird places where it's going to stick off the side. So it's best to double check. It's best to double check. And then I think I'm going to put one skinny dimensional right down here on this petal. So I'll just trim off a piece and put that in that petal and peel these off. Then we'll adhere this down just the way I wanted it, like that. And then we're going to take this particular flower, put a dimensional in the middle of that one, and then we'll figure out how we're going to put this on over here. Again, everything kind of hangs off the edges, which is great, but we don't want the adhesive to hang off those edges. Then if you want to, you can take a piece of the leaf and get that tucked in next to the other flower as well. So if you want to tuck it in here, you can. Then you can go ahead and trim off what hangs over the edge. Just adds a little more greenery to the project. Oh, come on. My fingers are sticky now, so it wants to stick everywhere, including my fingers. Okay, so you can see how that one hangs off the bottom. Now we'll just turn that around and trim that off. Then, so now the kits also came with this great cotton ribbon, and it's in a pale papaya color. And I'm just gonna tie that into a small bow to add to my project, because there's not enough going on in it already. So we'll add some more. Okay, just a little bow like that. And then trimming those off, I can use one of my little glue dots from the kit I'm going to put it right down here underneath the best wishes. Add that right there. Little pop of color in there with the leaves and those blue flowers. And then finally, my last little addition is going to be these beautiful iridescent rhinestones. So I'm going to take several of them here, put them on the, so we'll add, we're going to try 5 of them right around the center of my flower. These do not want to stick to my, there. And then we'll add a couple smaller ones, one in each center of the smaller flowers. And there we've got ourselves a beautiful little fun fold card. And we can go ahead and write our message here. If you would like to have a piece of white in here, you could add a piece of white just in this section here to write on, but I think this is light enough that that would work just fine. And I just think that turned out beautifully. A great wedding card or birthday card or whatever your best wishes are for. Thanks for joining me for another alternate paper pumpkin project. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have fun being creative. I will see you next time.